Welcome to another episode of the 145 Booth. I am your host Lydia Ndwiga, and we are continuing with our conversations about the mental health in the creative space. Na leo kidogo na feel ni kama niko na pressure kwa sababu mwenye yuko nasi sasa ni the people who know how to do TV stuff and present as well as can be. So pressure ukiona imeanza kupanda kidogo mtaelewa. I shall not even dare to introduce the guest. I'll just say his name and then he can tell us who he is and kwa nini tumemwita. Maybe anaweza tuambia hiyo pia, because clearly I am uko kwa pressure and he's very good at his craft, and I'm glad to also call him my friend. And so we're going to be hearing much about the mental health space in his life. And ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the one and the only Paul Mung'ala Mbuvi. Drum rolls. Karibu sana Paul.
Asante. Umesema hujini kwa nini umeniita. So mimi ndio nafaa kuambia kwa nini nimekaa. Okay,
sijasema hivyo Paul. Mimi nimesema tu utatuambia kwa nini tumekuita.
Okay, mumeniita ni kule zile biscuits zikoko kwenu kwa jikoni uko nimekula na hiyo keki, kahawa, juice and hope kuna chicken for lunch.
We shall see about that. So that means interview meisha.
Interview tutafanya.
Tutafanya.
Mimi sijui ulinitia nini, lakini mimi nimekwambia kinye kimenileta hapa. So I hope your chicken maybe either iko njiani ama inaiva.
Okay, let me just make a phone call. And then maybe we can. Okay, so anyway.
Kuna dial delivery.
Kuna hiyo pia, but sasa unajua budget si yangu per se.
Shida ni budget. Sawa. Ushasema.
Paul, thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so let me not assume that everyone knows you. Let me not assume that everyone knows what you do. So would you kindly just tell us?
Reintroduce myself.
Reintroduce yourself.
Right. Let me tell you who I am. My name is Paul Mung'ala Mbuvi, like you rightly said. I am a father. I am a media personality. Although I don't know, mtu sikiza akiwa kwa YouTube anaweza jita media personality because now that I'm not on radio or TV anymore, but anyway, let me assume I'm a media personality and a YouTuber. Yes.
Yeah,
and a boyfriend, a very good one, I hope.
To a very beautiful girl.
Yes,
very beautiful.
Mimi si bahati shangi. Wacha nikwambie. Nikianza kutafuta mtu, nina making sure huyo mtu ni mtu hata nikimwanika hivi, mnanipigia makofi.
Yeah, na tusiseme but let's not get there.
Lidio umeokoka, ufai kuangalia watu vibaya.
Mimi sijaangalia mtu vibaya. We are all fearfully and wonderfully made.
Amen.
Yes. So thank you for coming and just opening your space to talk to us about the mental space.
Right.
And it's one of those discussions we normally try to push away. Like we try to be very strong about it, and especially being creatives, because we feel hii ni kitu nitasort, or someone else assumes hii ni kitu watasort. See, anyway, life zao zinaendelea poa. I mean, they go to social media, and as you've mentioned, you're a media personality. They go to social media, they see you're doing well. They see you on TV or hear you on radio, and they're like, I mean, nikiamka siku moja nimwambia nipeleke Serena, si tutakuwa sawa? Yeah, tutaenda. True. So with that at the back of your mind, and I'm sure you've experienced such things where someone is actually just calling you, because honestly, I will be fast to say that I have really benefited from you being on radio and on TV. Like, you literally just made sure Lydia's career is seen out there, and I'm very grateful for that.
I tried where I could. I've hosted you on TV. Have I hosted you on radio?
Yes, you did. But with the group I was in.
Kike.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, later.
After this.
Uniambie
Kike ilienda wapi?
Yeah.
Iko. And also utaniambia mbona I no longer see your videos on YouTube. Do you know I'm a subscriber to your page, by the way?
I know you are. Like, I know you have.
But you don't sing anymore?
You want me to sing now? To just prove
I know you can sing. I know you can sing. But anyway, conversation for later.
Yeah, conversation for later. So with that in mind, and I mean, everyone is coming to you as a media personality.
Right.
What is mental health to you, and how has people's approaches affected your mental space?
Wow. Okay. So mental health is just you being healthy in your let me say soul and spirit, because I believe the soul and the spirit reside in our minds, because that's where we think, that is where we process our knowledge, and that's where we express our emotions. So for me, mental health is when your body and your spirit and your soul are healthy. They are not in conflict with either themselves, or they're not in conflict with the rest of the world. For me, that's what I consider mental health.
Yeah. And how do people look at you? Because, I mean, you're out there, you're walking on the streets, it's like, Mung'ala Mbuvi was so and so, this and this. How does that affect you mentally? And especially in a space where you know that, we have a way of making media personalities feel, I'm Shanti, this God, Igwe.
Yeah.
How does that affect your normal livelihood away from TV, away from the media, basically?
Number one, it's a humbling experience because it's been over a year since I left TV. And I still get shout outs in the streets. People just like, hey, Naji Mung'ala Mbuvi. They want to take selfies with me. They just want to shake my hand. And it feels good. It feels good because someone appreciates what you have done or what you're doing if you're still in the space. And, let me tell you something. When I was on radio, for instance, when I was working at 1FM and at XFM, I used to host shows where I used to talk about issues that people are going through, whether it's their marital issues, relationship issues, financial issues. And the number of times during the shows that I hosted, I got calls from people telling me that I have literally saved, they were an inch away from committing suicide, for instance. That thing really touched me. I got a lot of DMs from people, both men and women, telling me that you've saved my relationship, or you've saved my marriage because my husband or my wife listens to you, and hizo vitu nasemanga by this natumekia sense. And that is a really humbling thing, because it makes you feel like every morning you wake up to go to work, you're not doing it in vain. Because a lot of us in any other profession, sometimes we work in vain. Nobody really cares about the output or the input you're putting in that particular profession. But when you're on TV and when you're on radio, you get to realize that you have a very huge response. It's like you're Superman to some extent. Or you're like, I don't know, Spider-Man. You're literally in a space where you can make or break people. So when you meet them in the streets and they want to shake your hand, they want an autograph, they just want to take a selfie, that is a very humbling experience.
Is there a point of your life where you probably, maybe just getting off it completely, do you ever feel like it's what keeps you going? What if no one ever came and told you thank you on the streets, or anyone ever came and told you thank you for saving my marriage?
Yeah, I mean, hey, unajua, especially when you're in something like TV where people can actually see you, and you walk in the streets and then nobody recognizes you, of course kuna kale ka ego tu. Uta feel like, kwani unijui? Unionangi kwa TV yako kila asubuhi?
Kwani you watching TV ama una TV?
Kwanza kuna hiyo swali, kwani you watching TV? Because how in your entire life, of being alive, you've never ever watched the station that I work for and seen me there. So kuna kaigo tu kata kufanya feel guy, watu wanafaa kun recognize. But what was the question again?
What if no one ever came and told you?
I mean, I would feel a type of way, but it wouldn't really haitaniumiza. Sometimes when you go with my mom and my dad to some places, and sometimes they will want to floss with their celebrity son, and they'll be like, ana nimekuja na kijana yangu, mnamuonaga kwa TV.
That's the first thing they say.
And I'm like, Mom. Yeah, or when I'm walking with my dad and he wants to introduce me to his what are they called, to his like classmates or whatever from back in the day, he'll be like, mnajua huyu ni ule anakuanga kwa TV, because my elder bro was a doctor, so sometimes they'll be like, ule daktari? Hapana, usi ule daktari, huyu ni ule wa TV.
Na mnafanananga by the way.
And you can see the pride they have in their eyes, and even the way they introduce you, and it makes you feel good. But sometimes I really don't want to be introduced like that, depending on where we are. Kwanza ushago sitakangi hiyo title. Ushago hiyo title inakufanyanga utoe pesa
kabisa. Na lazima utoe.
Hiyo title sitakangi ushago. Naambianga madhe usiseme mimi wa TV. As a matter of fact, hata siko hapa.
Is this what your parents wanted you to do?
No.
But where did the pride come from? I mean, but anyway, what were your parents? What did they tell you to do?
My dad really never told me what I need to do or not to do. For him, he just made sure I have an education. I get to university. Whatever course I choose or I'm picked to do, as long as umefika university na umemaliza, umegraduate. Unajua? Hataki story mingi. But, mothers are always the ones who will insist, you need to look for a marketable course.
Yes.
No, alikuwa naitanga course.
Course.
Marketable course. So before I joined the university, because me I was not a joint admission, but I was a self-sponsored student.
Yeah.
I remember going through the magazeti. That time I remember it was either the Nation or the Standard, and going through the courses, because now every university used to advertise what they have on offer. And I checked out all the universities, and I landed on Kenyatta University because every other university was very expensive or far away. Sitaenda more university, hata munidunge kisu sitaenda. So I wanted to go to University of Nairobi because that's where my bro was.
Sorry.
Yeah. The University of Nairobi. Sasa wewe ni mtu wa KU, mbona unatetea UN sana?
Mimi si watetei. Mimi niliambiwa tu hivyo juzi nika oblige.
Okay, so the University of Nairobi, I really wanted to go there, but my brother, because he was there, and I've always gone where my brother is for some strange reason. Primary tulikuwa pamoja, high school tulikuwa pamoja, Nairobi school, the Nairobi school.
Sorry.
Then sasa UN venye, of course alitangulia kwenda UN mbele yangu, so nilikuwa nataka kwenda UN na yeye. But I was fortunate enough to choose Biotechnology at Kenyatta University.
Imagine.
And that's where I went. So biotech was my course, not my mom's course, not my dad's course, not anybody's course. And because my brother went to UN to study biochemistry and later did medicine, I couldn't do anything less than him, because
how?
I will not be the only clown in the house, though I ended up being that clown. My dad is actually a bigger clown than me.
Is he?
Oh, my dad is hella funny. You have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So knowing your journey,
Yeah.
and I totally appreciate that we got to walk through this journey with you. But then you remember my sister, we were also following each
Yes,
other.
Ruth.
Yeah. So biochemistry.
Yes.
How did you end up in the creative?
So, Kenyatta University, we had the Kenyatta University Radio Service.
Yeah.
So I joined the service when it started in 2009.
Wait, I'm not trying to look as if I know too much about your life. Hakukuwa na KUTT?
Kulikuwa na QTT. So, I should have started there. So there was Kenyatta University Travel in Theatre. It's a theatre. What in high school and primary they called drama club.
Drama club.
Yes, but sasa ya university ilikuanga tunaita theatre. And I joined Kenyatta University Travel in Theatre. For those who do not know, KUTT ni mali akina Walter Mung'ala wamepitia.
Come on now.
The ridiculous tree, of course.
Drop those names.
Yeah, Mheshimiwa KJ Squeezy amekuwa mheshimiwa. He was at Kenyatta University Travel in Theatre.
Yeah.
Then there was Tony Njuguna. Nowadays he's a creative. I think
he's
all these billboards we see on the streets of Nairobi and the big adverts. Yeah. He has actually produced and directed most of them. Yeah, so
and then
other
Paul
people, MCA Tricky, although yeye alikuja sasa nyuma yangu. Sorry, alikuja nyuma yangu. Kuna watu wengi YY, KUTT, Sleepy David.
Come on.
I'm just trying to mention so that people can know the kind of products
that KU
and KUTT can give. Yeah, so I was in that club. And that's how, when Kenyatta University started the radio service, I joined KUFM. And from there, it was just, can I say, uphill. Because the moment after KU in 2010, I joined Kajairo. Kajairo.
I remember.
Yes. Kajairo alikuanga KU pia. Unajua hivyo. Na alikuanga KUTT pia. So nikajoin Kajairo and his team of clowns. And from there I just found myself connected to the industry. That's why I got a job in Kisumu. Kisumu, a station called Urban Radio. From Urban Radio, I came to 1FM in Nairobi. Then 1FM, I moved to XFM, which is now Smooth FM.
Yeah.
That one is owned by Radio Africa. Then now from XFM, went to K24 as a TV personality. So that's how I got into the media industry. Yeah.
We've always known you as a very hilarious person.
Still am. I hope so. My girlfriend laughs at all my jokes. I hope she kwangi akinidanganya akicheka hizo jokes zangu.
Okay.
And my mom also laughs.
Yeah. So we know you as a hilarious person.
Yes.
I mean, there's no way you could struggle with mental health. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what people assume. And for a long time, I also thought I would never get to a space where I need to check my mental health. Ever. I never, actually, let me tell you, up until when now I left TV, I never thought I would have to deal with mental health. Although I had already dealt with it before, I just hadn't realized that I was fighting things like depression, stress. Yeah.
Because you're the person who would walk into any room and everyone starts laughing for no apparent reason, because they remember a joke that was told in the choir or on the way to somewhere, and everyone is laughing about it.
You're mentioning that, I'm just remembering our former vice chancellor Professor Olive Mugenda. Mugenda ulikuwa unapata naye hata kwa streets anaanza tu kucheka. And you've not even said anything, like you're 10 meters away, amekuona tu anaanza tu kucheka. Yeah, we kind of have that effect as creatives, where you just walk into a room and people just laugh. Even when you watch people like Churchill, Churchill will walk onto the stage hata hajasema kitu.
Everyone.
Watu wanaanza tu kushangilia na kucheka, because they already anticipate that he's going to do jokes.
So what is that one event that made you now go like, yo, I need to check myself. I need to, okay, now this doesn't feel right. I need to be more self-aware about what's happening. What was that one thing that happened that triggered that effect? And how did you notice that this is the time? Were there any symptoms, or there something that happened, or something that you dreamt about?
Well, I didn't dream about it.
Yeah.
But it was when I went through my divorce back in 2016. That was because, you know, I had to separate from my wife, and by extension, because now wife and na mtoto. That time our child was like, what, 3 years old. So you can imagine being separated from the two the two people you love the most. That was really something for me. It was really, really bad. Like it was hata sijui naweza describe aje. It was like I had lost someone in terms of someone dying.
They actually say divorce is close to grief.
Yes.
It's like grief.
Yeah, when you're breaking up with someone that you really were close with. Yeah. And you can imagine this is someone I'd been together with for 5 years. And then our child, another, 3 years. And now you used to see these people daily, and then literally suddenly overnight,
they're not there.
You're not seeing these people and you're not talking to them. Hiyo kitu inakuanga mbaya.
And you call them and somehow
they don't answer your calls, because of course you don't divorce jumuli kwanga na kitu mzuri na happen. You divorce because something has made you break that marriage, and it was really not cool. It was a very dark moment in my life.
Did you notice like a proper change in your creativity around that time?
Funny thing, I used to go to work every morning because I had a morning show at 1FM. And I used to go to the show every single morning. My show was at 6. There's a taxi that used to come and pick me up. Ya job ilikuwa imelipwa na kazi. Ilikuwa inanikujia kila asubuhi. And I used to go to work, and on air I was bubbly.
Yeah, you are.
Ungeambiwa huyu mtu ana go through heartbreak,
you can't tell.
Hizi ni zile jokes zenu. You couldn't tell. Even my own colleagues, my bosses, no one knew. They came to find out months later. Months. Like after you've dealt with this thing, months later is when they notice. And it's because I told them, not because they found out. Yeah.
So and after that, what are the other major things that now collectively started happening that brought a lot of instability in your mental health? Yeah, would you just go ahead and give us a story about what happened after that? I don't want to preempt, because I think we've but I'd love to hear your story after that.
Well, I actually became a heavy drinker. Like immediately, like on the day that she left, or rather they left, because now it's my wife and child. That day they left, the first thing I did was I drowned two bottles of vodka. Yo. Yes, that's
a quarter ama 750.
No, we're talking about mzinga. Unajua mzinga? Unajua watu wameokoka sijui kwa unajua mzinga. Mzinga ni unaona hii soda ya 1 liter.
Even tumeamua.
Unaona hii soda ya 1 liter. Hiyo ndio mzinga. So I drowned like literally 2 bottles of vodka, and then now that became my life going forward.
In how long?
And I was a heavy smoker. What did you ask?
How long did you take those 2 mzingas?
Or like how long it took me to finish the 2 mzingas? I remember nililala kaa niko maji, so sikumbuki kama nilichukua the whole, because sometimes I would drink and still go back to the let me call them shops. Unajua kuna place inaitwa Wines and Spirits. Yeah. Nyinyi mnenanga kwa supermarket kununua soda. Yeah, supermarket. Yeah, so at the mall. Yes, the mall. Just in case. So in your case, I went to the mall to get my replenishment of I used to rather go to the shops to get more alcohol. And that is how I literally survived through that period, because see what alcohol does, it makes you Inakupatianga some false bravado. Number one, it makes you feel like you can do anything, you can confront anyone.
Yeah, liquid courage.
Yeah, that's why when you're drunk, you can literally say anything.
Anything you
can
want,
insult
and blame it
someone.
on the alcohol.
Exactly, you can insult someone, you can drunk call them. Then in the morning you're like, kai call Lydia nikamwambia, you know. Because you look at your phone log and you're like, wow, call Lydia mara 7 jana. You know. Yeah, so liquid, I mean, alcohol gave me that liquid courage you're talking about. Yeah, and I was a heavy smoker as well. I would do an entire packet in one day. And for me, that was not even a big issue. Yeah. So that's how I got through that period. It was a year plus.
In the creative industry, do you think drugs are a problem? Alcohol as well? Do you think they are causing one of the major issues that we are struggling with mental health?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you see, it's drugs are a coping mechanism for anyone. Anyone who is in the creative in the creative industry can fall victim of substance abuse. And substance, can be anything from alcohol to bangi to even cocaine. So yeah, it is a big problem. There are celebrities today, of course I can't mention names, but even the general audience knows that they are coping with substance abuse. They're always in and out of hospital. You will always not see or hear them on air for prolonged periods of time. Sometimes frequently, so si ati amechukua leave ama amechukua off days. Sometimes it's actually sick days amechukua because they're either admitted in hospital or admitted to a rehab. So yeah, we are prone to falling prey to substance abuse. Yeah.
How did you get out of that? Because I know with substance abuse comes addiction. With addiction comes to the point where you're not able to work as efficiently as you would. And that means your employer has to let you go.
Right.
How are you able to get off from that? Because after that, I believe there's a different story we're going to talk about. And you are at one of the media stations that are pretty well known and everyone now. So who's the face behind Paul Mung'ala Mbuvi? How are you able to get from that and be able to actually show up on TV sober and entertaining? And like literally my other sister who you never met, she always used to say, I always watch K24 in the morning because of Paul. You know him, like, well.
I mean, so when I was going through my separation, stroke divorce, like I said, I really got into heavy drinking. But I wouldn't say that I got addicted because I could stop at any point. I just chose not to because I was masking the pain. I was suppressing the pain. I was trying to arrest the pain, if I may call it that. Because when I am sober, I overthink. Or rather, I think a lot. Let me not call it overthinking. But I think a lot.
You think a lot?
Because you're there, you're thinking, ama ningefanya hivi, wife angeenda. Ama ningefanya hivi.
So it's always your fault for one reason or another.
This marriage would have worked in one way or another. So to avoid that thinking, because the more you think, the more the pain is amplified. And it's amplified because apart from just the blaming yourself part, you're like you insult yourself like nilikuanga mjinga. So ndio uache hiyo kafeeling ka ujinga unakamask na pombe. So you take alcohol, do the cigara so that because when you're drunk you're like lakini sianaweza enda kwa nitapata mwingine.
Na ni wengi.
Na ni kweli ni wengi. Ni venye tu si ule wako. So I went through that period, but because mimi nilifungia, sikuambia mtu. Mimi sikuwa nataka
Oh no, you never used to talk about your issues a lot.
Mimi sitaki I don't want someone to feel pity. Until now they start looking at me like, oh shit. This is what you went. What? Any for real? Aki guy anaweza kukufanya. I didn't want that. So to avoid that, people would actually would ask me about home, and I'm like, tuko fiti. Some of her friends actually, because even her to some extent she hadn't told people. People would call her, and when they can't reach her, whether wamempata mteja or maybe she hasn't answered, they call me. They're like, we're looking for your wife. Mko hapo na yeye? Especially kama ni jioni. Mko hapo na yeye? And that thing used to kill me because I was like, now how do I start explaining to Lydia that we are not together? So I would lie to them. I'd be like, na ako kwa bafu ama ako kwa choo. Wacha akitoka, I'll ask her to call you back. Then I would text her because I knew she wouldn't take my calls. I would text her and tell her, we niaje, Lydia is calling you, boo. Call Lydia back. So for me, that was it was a period, and those are the things that actually made me drink. And so, like I said, me, I wasn't addicted, and at any point I could stop. So after a very prolonged period of reflection and just looking at my situation, nika realize by the way, mbona ninaumia, huyu mtu mwenye ninaumia juu yake has already moved on. She's living her life. She's actually enjoying her life. Me, I'm the one here who's sulking, probably waiting for someone who will never come. And pole too, it wasn't something that happened overnight, but that thought kept on ringing in my mind. And pole too, nikajipata too, I am out of that situation. And I left it completely. Yeah, so me, I wasn't addicted. Probably, maybe it's because I don't know the definition of addiction. Kabisa, but I wouldn't say I was addicted.
So you just stopped cold turkey. One morning, I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking, I'm good to go.
Yes.
All right.
I just woke up and I was sober, and I just didn't buy another drink. I didn't buy another bottle. Well, I mean, after that I continued drinking, but I wasn't now drinking as heavily as I used to. Because there are times when I would go to radio high as a kite. Like I would leave the house with a bottle. I would literally live with a bottle in hand. Yes. So I told you there's a taxi that used to come and pick me. So I used to hide the bottle in a bag, a backpack. I would go with or sometimes even just a carry whatever, like a shopping bag. I would carry it, go to the office. I used to have the studio lights off because this is radio.
I mean,
no one needs to see you. Sika radio za siku hizi lazima uonekane uko na mpaka TV, lazima ufanye makeup. I'm lucky back in the day we didn't have that. Because the days I used to go to work in pajamas, baby. So or even in shorts. So I'd have my bottle of vodka, whiskey or whatever I decided to drink that day. And ilikuanga hapa chini on my ili mkono gani right. So I'd put on the microphone and do my introduction, tell people about the next song, do my outro, and the moment the mic is off, my bottle, take like a gulp, not even a sip,
a gulp,
dry, and I used to cry in that studio. And so the reason the lights were off, number one, because I didn't want people. There was a huge mirror. There's a huge, not mirror, but window. So anyone walking through the reception, they would see into the studio. So that's the reason the lights were off. I didn't want people to see me crying, and I definitely did not want guests to see me drinking. Yes.
Oh wow! And these are the things we never really know.
Yeah, and I had to, I had to be high 24/7 because the moment I am sober. And funny enough, I didn't get a hangover. Mimi sikuwa na. Unajua kuna ile hangover unaamka kichwa inakuuma, unatapika kila okay, ujui hangover. Acha sana kwa hangover. Hiyo ndivyo hangovers zinakuanga.
Nitengeneze tu jina, but keep going.
Unamkanga kichwa inauma and you're feeling nauseated and it's just a whole madhogodhani in your body. Yeah.
And you don't know what's happening. Why is the liver bouncing around? What's happening to my heart?
Sometimes you don't even want to hear loud sounds or loud music. So even the studio what are they called, speakers, were
you
off.
turn them down.
Umeweka tu volume kadogo tu ndio usikie
cue.
Usikie tu cue yako ya kuongea. Otherwise everything was off. And that's why I pulled through during that period.
Yeah, and these things, we never really discuss them because ever since, even me as a woman, I know that as much as big girls don't cry, but men, whether you're big or small, you don't cry.
Me and tears were friends.
Yeah.
Were BFFs.
Did that make you feel, sorry to use this, but did it make you feel of who society expects of a man? Did it, and especially after, you're the person who's supposed to bring your family together.
Yeah.
And then you don't have any explanation, is it? And then everyone will definitely blame the man. Because, I mean, how did that affect, sorry, but your masculinity? Did you feel as if you had failed as a man? Did you feel like society expected more from you and you weren't able to deliver? And did that end up really affecting your mental space and probably how you would continue if, just in case you decided to settle again?
Yeah.
Was that a factor that may have affected you?
Well, so the masculinity part, first of all, the reason why I hadn't told people about my situation is because we had done a very huge wedding
I
just
remember.
a few months before. It was huge. A lot of guests, ilikuanga kwa magazeti.
You know?
Bloggers walikuwa wameandika vitu wakisema Paul Mbuvi marries his long-term girlfriend.
Yeah, and it was long-term girlfriend for sure.
Yeah, hizo ma headlines wanaandika. So there's that pressure. Forget even being the man part. It's just pressure of having utambia watu nini. Like you just did a very huge wedding the other day. So what is this we are hearing that you guys are no longer together?
No, kwa limelight.
So ilikuanga like there was just so much going on. And I still had the hopes that me and her would get back together. So I didn't want to spoil it. Unataka kuharibu. Unataka kusema kitu akasirike msirudiane. Aseme nilikuwa nataka kukurudia lakini after imesemekana huko na ghafla
weka tu.
So I didn't want to tell people because I still wanted to maintain we're still together,
status quo,
just in case we get back together, right? Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons I kept one of the other reasons I kept it under wraps. I really didn't feel at you as a man I didn't feel that pressure. There's a word I'm looking for. Squeezy kizungu inapotea sana. But me sikuanga niyo pressure ati mimi I'm not man enough.
Yeah.
You're nice to feel.
Oh, that's interesting. So because we were saying everyone has their own mental space reveals itself in different ways. And so we usually say it's okay if you're displaying different symptoms or you're feeling something different from someone else. It doesn't necessarily, there's no template necessarily. Yeah. So let me just dive into your nuclear family. A lot has happened around that. A lot has happened around your mom and your brothers. And I'm really sorry to bring this up, and it's a place that can trigger quite a bit. But tell us a bit about that. If you're able to just give us the details and maybe just tell us, because Paul, when I just think about what you've gone through, like it just, and especially when someone you really care about, you're just, how did he even do that? Like even when I'm calling you, I'm feeling insufficient to help you out with that. Yeah, so just walk us through your mom's journey, walk us through your dad's journey, your brother's journeys, and then just tell us how that made you who you are now and how it made you a different person then. Are you the same person then and now? And maybe what you would tell someone else who's probably going through the same thing, because
so as we move now to the next conversation, I just like to make it very clear that now me and my ex-wife, we are very good co-parents to our daughter.
That's
and
nice.
She's an amazing mom to all her kids. So we got to a point whereby because we went through a lot of processes, including the courts, legal processes, counseling, nini. And at the end of the day, we came out on the other end stronger. Now there's respect between us, and we are I believe we are good parents to our daughter.
Your daughter.
And like I said, she's also good mother to her kids. So that one, at least I got out of that era and I learned a lot from that particular.
And there's something that comes with sorting out a certain part of your life. There's something that it gives you more peace to even sort out your other life.
At least your side sina stress.
Hauna stress.
I have to deal with this woman. No. That one. Kitambo I used to feel that way, but nowadays everything is good.
Thank you for that disclaimer. Helps a lot.
Now, in terms of mom, tuanzie kwa mama, ama umesema tuanzie wapi?
Unataka kuanzia wapi?
Tuende kwa mom. Tuende kwa mom. Mom, well, she was diagnosed with cancer. Was it in 2020? Imagine I even forget these things now.
I just remember that concert we did was in 2020 when there was COVID.
Must have been 20. So in 2020, sometime towards the end of the media, I think, she was diagnosed with cancer called ampullary cancer. I didn't even know there's such a organ or part of the body called that. So because unajua tumezoeanga the big cancers, colon cancer, skin cancer, brain, cervical, breast cancer, prostate. I just there's something nowadays, anything can actually have cancer in your body. Anything. Even your tongue can get cancer. So when my mom got a ampullary cancer, that was a shock.
It was.
Mimi siwezi kakudanganya, Lydia. I do not know a single person who has survived cancer. Apart from my mom, that is. I do not know like every time I hear someone has cancer,
this is the end.
And now when I found out that, because I was there when she was diagnosed, it was really crazy. And I remember the first thing, because my dad retired. Me, I'm just a humble TV guy. And that's it. No one else in the family is making mad cash that can actually go through this for the financial part of treatment. And she had almost already exhausted her insurance because before she got cancer, madhana kwanga na diabetes. And cancer ikujangi tu siku moja unashtukia ni cancer.
Yeah.
Kuna complications, and she had gone to hospital being treated for these symptoms that now eventually we came to discover were cancer. So insurance yake ilikuwa imeisha. Because the times she would go to Nairobi hospital, spend like a week there. By the time anatoka hapo hivyo, bill imekuja like 400k. Thank God she had insurance that time, and it took care of such bills. Until now she got cancer, and then the doctor told us this thing now, after we went through the whole process, tukamba ikitu inaweza cost upwards of 2.5 M. I was like, Jesu,
where are we getting that
what
money?
the hell? So that for me was the end of life as I know it. And I remember having to be strong because I knew from the get-go, if you guys drop the ball now, ni hivyo. So I couldn't afford to look despair and lose hope in front of my mom. I couldn't lose hope in front of my dad because now pia fadhe amegongwa na shock, ameretire.
And your sons.
And then yes. So for me, I remember I just literally went to gear 5 from the day we got that diagnosis. Yeah.
And how did it affect you in terms of what you were doing at that time?
Yes, I was a TV presenter, and every morning unaexpectika kwenda kwa TV, watu wanacheka nawe. First of all, forget even the audience. Your colleagues. Kutoka watchman pale ground floor, ukiingia TV kwa ofisi, watchi already ashaanza kucheka na wewe. Mbuvi ni aje, leo chai, leo mandazi. And you're just looking at this person thinking, you have absolutely no idea what is going through my mind and in my life right now. But you have to maintain the smile. Unapanda lift, you meet the janitors there, muna cheka, wanakwambia jana kuna tulisema kwa TV ilikuwa ngafani. And you're there, you're like, then you get into studio, you're meeting your colleagues, and you're going through the show, and they're asking you things, wewe ndio utafanya hii part, umejipanga hii part, and sometimes you've zoned out. Like you're looking at this person, but all you can hear is hauelewi mtu. So it was a difficult period. And you just can't tell guys that, hey, stop everything, guys, stop everything. Mom has cancer.
Yeah. The world has to stop for me.
No. It can't. People have their own issues to deal with. Kuna mtu maybe amechana na bibi yake jana hajawambia. Someone probably was battered by their husband yesterday, they haven't told you. Someone is going through a heartbreak, pia ameachwa hajawambia. So I had to first of all process my own emotions before I even involve other people in my emotions. So that and again, remember I told you Mr. Kikurumiwa. Me, I don't want
you don't want to
Sasa guy, your mom cancer guy. Sasa no, I didn't want that.
Let's look for solutions first.
Yeah. I had first of all to process it, understand it. Then now, weeks later, is when I told people about it. Because now I was ready for even the questions that they would have for me. Like, how can we help you?
How can we help?
So that when you ask me, how can we help you? I literally have an answer for that.
Yeah, you don't start, so no.
How can you help me?
I didn't help.
I didn't want that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So there's someone who usually says he has learned the art of understanding the pain that he's going through, marinating it, and then now from there rise up better. Right? So let's go to your brothers. Tell us a story behind that.
So people don't know this, but I have two brothers. People know of only just one brother because he's the guy I've been talking about.
He's the guy you've talked about. And you work, I mean, because with time you guys drew closer from another tragedy.
Like 1.5 years.
And you found a nut.
Yes, then there's that. Okay, unamaanisha mapua zetu ama?
I plead the fifth.
Tulikuwa tunafanana. So first of all, big bro, his was called Mike died in the year 2000, just when I was sitting for my KCPE. I'm a millennial. Tulikuwa tunaitwa millennial candidates. Nasikumbuka hiyo jina. Anyway, millennial when walifanya exam 2000. Tulikuwa tunaitwa millennial candidates. And so did my KCPE in 2000. That was my class 8. And I remember that was the most confusing time in my life. because he died in, I think it was June or July, somewhere there, like middle of the year. That was the first time someone close to me actually died. People had died before, aunties, uncles, grandparents, whatever, but I hadn't really understood, I hadn't really seen death that close to me. So when my bro died, it even affected my performance in school.
Yeah, definitely.
And I didn't know, like I didn't know that I'm being affected by my brother's death. But nilikuwa najipata tu nimeanza kuwa tu dwanzi, niko clueless. Venye unajua mwalimu anaulizanga kitu kwa class, 8 times 8, you're the first one, 64. Hiyo time hata mwalimu akiuliza swali, hata sijui ameuliza swali gani, nauliza Mbuvi. Niko like, umeuliza? Because I wasn't concentrating in class anymore. I was starting to see bala kuona 7 times 3 kwa paper, nilikuwa ninaona 7 plus 3. Because I'm not really concentrating. 4 divided by 12, kwangu ilikuwa inakaa 4 plus 12. So I used to even give wrong answers in the exam. And I actually got to a point, nikaanza kufeel kama mimi ni mjinga. Because nilikuwa, our exam that time was out of 700. 700 marks, yeah?
A lot.
Yeah. And I used to score upwards of, like, nikienda chini sana mimi nilikuwa nagonga 610 out of 700. But I remember the first time now after we had buried bro, the next exam I did, I was number last in a class of 54, in a class of 55 people. I remember when the results ziliekwa kwa ukuta, kwa notice board, nilienda nikaangalia nikapata niko na. Mimi nilikuwa mtu alikuwa akienda chini sana, niko number 10. Mimi nisile yani nimeanguka.
Umeanguka
for
vibaya.
some strange reason.
Yeah.
Mimi nilikuwa ninazoeanga number 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Then suddenly mpaka teachers called me. Nikakalishwa, it was like a intervention, like, are you okay?
They didn't know about your brother? Or
They knew, but now they wanted me to come out with the problem first before they give solutions. And they were asking me, is everything okay back at home in terms of maybe my parents? Am I just okay? I think they're also trying to establish my mental situation. And me, I was like, I'm okay, guys. Like, shida iko happy? I am actually okay. But I didn't know until when I grew older that I needed to do grief counseling.
Yeah.
For me to first of all accept that my brother was dead, because I used to have dreams about him and so on and so forth. So I wish I had met someone who would have taken me through grief counseling for me to understand that I have lost someone significant in my life and how to live with his absence.
So do you think, when I think about it, because I know a lot of let's not start with the problems that we are having in schools now, but in the situations that were then and the ones that we are now, how important is it for teachers to actually know how to deal with, because first of all, it's not their fault, because it's one teacher against a number of students.
True.
Do you think there's a way that schools are able to, I don't know, figure out a way how to reach every student and probably make it's the hardest thing. And even as a teacher, you're thinking, gosh, you only have so much. And even you're going through whatever you need to go through.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a way that whether the government or another body could probably help the teachers be sufficiently adequate to handle mental health issues? Because right now it's quite a big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, yes, of course, I would really like for such a situation to occur. But again, schools do have some program, guidance and counseling. But I think it needs to be robust. There needs to be a review for students. Like the way wanafanyanga performance review, waangalie whether strength ama weakness yake iko in mathematics ama weakness yake iko kwa English. I think they also need to check your mental capacity, mental status, and again now the mental health, just to confirm that you're okay. And the reason why you're probably not performing good in maths is not because you're not good in maths, or maybe you're good in sports and not mathematics. Could there be something mentally hindering you from being the best in that particular subject, or just general academics? So yeah, I think they need to do something about that.
Yeah. Charles
was our second born. Mike was the first, Charles second. I'm the last born.
You're the last born.
Yeah, so Charles died last year in November. That is 2024.
Yeah.
And he was very okay. And he just, one morning, remember I told you I moved in with my parents. So I lived with my parents. Charles used to work in a clinic just next to home. And he actually used to live in that, he had his quarters in that particular clinic. It was actually a walking distance, like probably 100 meters away, if I'm not wrong. And I remember that the morning that he died, he came knocking our gate very vehemently. And madhe ndio anakuanga rada na hizi vitu. Mi namkanga siku hizi saa 6 za mchana. So when bro knocked the gate, we all sprang into action because the way he was knocking it wasn't kawaida. That was about
different.
Yeah, it was about 6 a.m. So tukachangamka sisi wote. He was staggering, drunk, like beyond ulevi. So I was like, jamaa, man, it was on a Tuesday morning. Jamaa 6 a.m. ako maji hivi, kwani ametoka wapi? Then he said he told my mom, I've been poisoned. I was like, wait, what? So we sprang into action. I whatever, nikawasha gari yangu, tukamuingiza hapo. Then immediately we just went to hospital. And I remember when we were on our way to Hosi, he was just saying that harakisheni. And for me, I just thought, mlevi, hizi ni nini ametoka kukunywa sasa anatuambia tumharakishe. Kumbe the guy was actually serious. That he even got to a part he stopped talking completely. So anyway, we rushed to hospital. When we got there, he was wheeled in on a wheelchair to the whatever hospital indani. Mi nikaanza kutafuta parking. And I actually thought he was going to get better. Thought that because when we got there, the doctors and the nurses, they were like, Kwani, you know, what has he consumed? We're like, we don't know. The guy's just saying that he's been poisoned, so we don't know. So they tried everything, because when you're poisoned, there's something they give you. It's called activated charcoal.
Yeah.
It's the one that arrests the poison in your body, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, before they establish what kind of poison that you've consumed, so they gave him that activated charcoal. So I was in the ward with my brother. I was actually, just talking to him, trying to keep him awake. Yeah. And I was actually taking a video of him. So I'm trying to, just keep him awake. The guy is not talking. He's not responding. He's not even looking at me. He has his eyes closed. And Lydia, that was the first point of trauma for me. Because you're just looking at him wondering, huyu mtu, mi nilikuwa najua atamka, but nilikuwa nauliza atamka saa ngapi? Because I had questions for him. Yeah, like who would want to poison you? Yeah, so anyway, a few minutes later, me I just see doctors and nurses rushing to his bedside. And then they started some kind of resuscitation, because at one point he just stopped breathing. Then that thing went flat. So hizo vitu tunaonanga kwa TV. Hizo vitu tunazionanga kwa TV, tunadhani ni kitu simple. Hiyo kitu, wacha nisikudanganye. Mimi sidhani hata naweza watch ER size. I cannot watch Dr. House. You know Dr. House?
Yes, Dr. House.
I don't think I can watch any medical related drama
Anything that has that
I
like
can't. Mi siwezi size, because the moment I see that thing, I think my heart might also stop. So when that part came, doctors rushed in and they started resuscitating him. And I was there watching the whole process. Unaona kwa movie venye watu wanafukuzangwa anaambiwa ati ende yuko nje, we'll call you, we have this a day. Your time, no one is even talking to me, because everyone hands on my bro. And they tried resuscitating Chalo. I think it was like 3 times. Absolutely nothing happened. And I watched my bro die. I watched doctors give up. Well, I would call it give up, because like they realized there's nothing we can do beyond this. And I actually wanted to jump in there and like tell them mnaachaji umse ende hivyo. And they just looked at me. My mom that time was not in the room. And I could just see that no one wants to tell me that Chalo is dead.
Chalo is dead.
That was the worst experience in my entire... I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
You wouldn't even think it.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. Yes. It was the worst experience of my entire life. And that, I don't think I will ever forget that in my entire life, ever. That was a really traumatizing point in my life.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks.
I'm so sorry. It would be hard to continue, because sometimes it would feel a bit insensitive.
That's okay.
But what are the effects that come with, I mean, because I don't want to imagine, but what are the effects that came with that? Because at this time, the media station has let you off. So you're basically dealing with so much from wherever you are. And then first of all, you have to move in with your folks. And then now this is happening. And then here we are in a new year. And life is not mark timing. We are moving on and you have to figure out what to do next. What were your course of action? And from it, what did you decide to do? Like, is there, because either way, when we are traumatized, we either decide to go downhill or we decide to go uphill. What was your course of action from all that?
So, I had to, I always take this responsibility of having to be strong for everyone else. My parents to date have not yet recovered from my brother's death. As early as this morning, when I was coming here, my mom mentioned to me, I think she listened to something, and I don't know if it was a song she had on TV or something, and she was like, imagine this song reminds me of Chalo. Yesterday, she called someone, and then that person had a ringback tone that reminds her of Chalo. My parents have not yet gotten over this. My dad, kwanza, his appetite has not yet returned. Haijarudi. Father hakulangi like vizuri. Father can even have 1 meal a day. Yeah. And for the longest, he like his tears were just flowing. At least nowadays, he's getting strong as far as that is concerned. And I cannot afford to be weak right now. Not to be weak, but I cannot afford to show weakness because we all can't be weak in that house. Tumebaki watatu. You get, someone has got to be the glue that holds people together. And like I said, I've taken that responsibility of having to be strong for everyone, because tukiamua sisi wote tuachilie, because for sure my parents are struggling with this whole issue of Chalo. If we decide to let go, if I decide to let go, I don't think we will get through anything. So I have taken the responsibility of having to be strong, and I believe I'm getting there in terms of having to do what I have to do. My girlfriend is there along with me, so at least we're giving each other strength as far as that is concerned.
All right. Okay, it's a hard place to be.
It is.
The world literally just, that cut. We know when a bomb drops and everyone's ears are just. It's a hard place to be. So, and I just want to commend your willpower.
Thank you.
Yeah, because a lot of people would, even me, I'm going through it, and I need. So we all need a support system, and that's why, as I usually say on every episode, the 145 booth is here. And I always believe that in your experiences, you can help someone. In your experiences, you can just open up about what you're going through, and not to just let them know, even me, I'm going through it, so it's okay, you can go through it. I mean, you're just there to tell them I've also gone through it, and I have found my way through it, and we can do this together. Yeah, so I hope we can just be that safe space for you as well. Yeah, and you don't have to go through it alone. That's what I usually say. So in as much as you have to be strong for your folks, and I understand where that is coming from, I hope we can, even as the crew and everyone here, just remember that you're our friend now. So we can be able to stand with you. Your weight loss journey, not to move on swiftly, man. It's not to move on swiftly.
My weight. Let's start with just my weight as it is. For the longest, I'd been huge, plus size, as people like to call it. I've been fat for a while. The first time I started losing weight was in 2018, and I just got into this diet thing, and I stopped eating carbohydrates, nikacha na mafuta. I stopped using sugar in my beverages. I stopped taking soda. I even quit alcohol, so that I can get to the weight that I wanted, and it worked. For about 7 months, I lost weight, and I lost weight tremendously, from 102 to 79 kilograms. And I was okay for a while, until now, when I lost my job in 2024 January. Sasa umekaa nyumbani, there's nothing else you're doing. You're just bumming, you're stressed, wondering where you will get your next gig from.
Paycheck.
Sa hizo watu hawakuitii maharusi anymore because you're no longer popular.
Yeah.
So you're not called to MC. Because you know people, there's this thing about having a celebrity
celebrity MC.
In your MC zile za, that's Mung'ala Mbuvi. Everyone is like, hey, yani harusi yako ilikuwa na Mung'ala Mbuvi.
Mung'ala Mbuvi, it was a big deal, man.
Exactly. So
I almost had that opportunity.
People are no longer calling me for I almost MC'd your wedding.
Yeah, you did.
Ungesema uko na Mung'ala Mbuvi kwa harusi yako.
Maze. So, COVID ingeisha. Imagine.
So you're no longer having gigs. Even corporates are no longer calling you because people want to have Eric Latif in their as their MC in their event. You know, because there you have politicians, you have businessmen, kina Manu Chandaria wako hapo. So even them, they want to laugh because Mung'ala Mbuvi has cracked a joke. Hey, hizo kazi zinaenda. People no longer give you voiceover gigs because I'm also a voiceover artist.
Yeah, you're really good at it.
And they don't want to give you those gigs anymore because I mean, we can have Nico Diambo, why have Mbuvi?
Yeah.
We can have Dr. Fweneke, why have Mbuvi? We can have Obina, why have
Mbuvi?
So una realize, my friend, hivyo ndivyo kumbe watu walikuwa na kugauge as in regards to your popularity and your celebrity status. So after that one went, makazi pia zikaenda na hiyo kitu. And then of course there are some youngsters who've come, they're doing an amazing job and they're actually cheaper to MC, they're cheaper to do a voiceover. So wewe na rate card yako either uteremke chini ama sasa mtu tumetokezea tu TikTokers tumetokezea siku hizi, they'll do your job for not even a quarter, an eighth of your price. You get? So yeah, we've had to struggle with that, but now what do? You accept and you move on. So I've had to struggle with that as well, not providing as I used to.
As you used to.
And you just have to make adjustments. And those are some of the things that actually made me move back home because why continue paying rent? It's actually struggle to find rent and pay rent when your parents are telling you, look, we have it's like 65 rooms here. Come take one. Feel free. Yeah.
About your job, January 2024, and creatives, I think we have a lot of that issue going on. Like for us musicians, our jobs, as soon as March 2020 happened and the first case was announced, all our jobs are just shut off because restaurants shut down. People were saying we don't want places where there's a lot of people, crowded places. I know there are a lot of people who will say, no, this is part of life. I mean, even accountants lose their job, doctors lose their jobs and whatnot. Do you feel like the marketplace for the creative is less stable? Because sometimes you could just wake up one day and you were singing last night and then you're told,
it's true,
we found a prettier BGV than you.
Prettier, younger, probably better voice.
Yeah.
And for me now, I think I have come to terms with it. I have come to terms with that fact that you will never be the best. There's always someone who's better than you. Yeah, you can only be the best at what you do. Trust me, someone is better than you in that particular field or in that particular job.
Or in the eyes of those people.
And in the eyes of Actually, that is what happens. A lot of people are getting fired on TV and radio because unaambiwa tu ni aje, Lydia, you're no longer as pretty as you were 6 years ago when we hired you. Yeah, so now there is this young girl. Yeye hana shughuli mingi, hana familia ya kushughulika.
Hana familia.
Sasa
hata kupiga usiku kusema my child was in hospital last night.
Hata tuambia ati msinipigie simu after 9 because bwanangu ako na shida. Yeye hata mkitaka kumpigia simu at 2 am atashika na atakuja kazini. And that is a person who's hired in your stead, in your place. So I have come to terms with the fact that tumeanza kuzeeka. Actually tulishazeeka sisi tumeanza. And there's always someone who's going to do your work better, faster, cheaper. Yes.
So what do you do? Like you have bills to pay. You have things to do. And I know it's part of what a lot of creatives are going through. Like I'm financially unstable. I have a family to support. My mom and dad are growing older. I wouldn't expect them to pay their hospital bills. We are at that stage when we are actually taking care of our parents.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Like, do you look for other things to do? Do you just give up and say, you know what, I humbly, because for an accountant, it's very easy. And I don't know why I use accountants in this example. It's very easy for them to even set up their own farm. For creative, and especially if you're a musician, what are you setting up? You know, like, so how can we change our mind towards not being able to do anything after we've been fired, because you seem to have so much willpower. Like, what are your steps after that? Like, what have you done that you would tell another creative is, you know what, losing your job or losing that gig at that specific restaurant is not the end of the line. What can you do?
So I'm actually going to connect it again with my whole weight loss thing. In 2024 I added significant weight because of just bumming in the house. And what I used to do most is, apart from watching Netflix and Prime Video and Showmax, was just send emails, applying for jobs and eating. My dad kwanza made sure nisistressike juu ya chakula. Hiyo fridge yetu inakuanga stocked with all kinds of meats. Mimi ndio nilifika mahali nikaacha kukuliza vitu because nilirealize nitakuwa kama elephant. So I used to just sit and just send emails, send my CVs, call people. I called every TV station in Kenya that I can work in, apart from the vernacular ones, of course. Lakini za Kikamba pia nilipiga simu.
Ulipiga simu lazima.
I promise you, nilipiga mpaka TV stations za Kikamba. Nikasema I might not be able to speak Kamba on air, but I can direct.
I can direct produce. And you can script write.
Yes. And everyone gave me the same answer. Can't afford you or hakuna position size. Wengine kwanza walikuwa wananiambia unasema nini, next week we are laying off people. So hapa hatuna position, watu tunafuta kazi next week. So hata uko na bahati tu kukuandika juu ungekuwa maybe a month hao wenye wanaenda. And for a very long time I just understood that sasa there's nothing else I can do. Uzuri, my parents very supportive. Wow.
Yeah, you sound, you have very supportive folks.
There's not a single day my mom or my dad has told me amko katafute kazi. Ati umekaa sana ama umelala sana.
Ni saa ngapi saa hii?
Hakuna siku mamangu ameniambia, "Hey Paul, ni 11 ndo naamka." Sijawahi sikia hiyo.
President Kingston.
President Kingston sijaambiwa. Even my dad has never at any one point, because sometimes I can sleep even at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because Netflix. Where I watch mpaka sasa najisikia. There's not a single day my dad has told me, "Hey, boss, hauchoki na hiyo TV?" Hakuna. Again, I told you my girlfriend is very supportive. Hakuna siku demu yangu ameniambia, "Ai, you useless man. Hata wezi nilipia salon." There's not like me, sina pressure kwa life yangu. I can actually say that with a lot of confidence. And I think a lot of us, we need that.
We do.
Because the moment you start getting those small pressures of hujatafuta kazi, you start thinking, hey,
nyewe
madhe nikaa ananihintia nihame huko. Unajua? Father nikaa hataki nikaa hapa anymore.
Hatuwezi kuwa ndume wawili kwa hao moja.
Ai father, sijisikia hiyo. Mimi hakuna siku nimeambiwa tunajua unatumianga tishu mingi hapa na ununuangi. Because those are the things that can really mess you up.
Yeah.
Because now utaanza kufikiria guy na tissue yake tu ni 25 bonus.
Imagine.
That can actually kill someone.
It can.
And
especially when you're coming from a place where you actually have a family that you supported.
Yeah.
And now you're back to your parents' house. And I don't know why going back to your parents' house is looked at as such a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And it's an option. And in fact, I keep telling young girls, usikuwe na haraka kutoka kwa nyumba ya mama yako ama baba yako. If they're still okay with you being there,
mimi kama
stay.
Ati nilirudi, hakuna mtu rudi.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
Because I do, once in a while, I'll do a gig here and there, a voiceover here and there. When I get the money, I'll splash it where it needs to be splashed.
Where it needs to be splashed.
Yeah, on baby girl, on my parents. But najuanga, hii ni kujitolea kabisa, because hii pesa utaiona tena after 6 months. So kama ni kufanya shopping, unafanya shopping, ndio waseme, hey! Mpaka kuangalia hivyo wanakuambia, okay. So,
okay.
Yeah, but when it doesn't come, mimi ninako, at least I have people who take it easy on me. Yeah. And even the extended family, let me give them a shout out too. Hakuna mtu ameni pressurize ati hey siku hizi ulienda home hata hatukuonangi kufanya kitu. No one has told me that. And I thank God, maybe I'm in the right circles.
I don't think maybe, because what a lot of people who are struggling with mental health is that they don't have a support system.
True.
You're either told you're staying in bed too much because you're lazy, you're staying in bed too long because hauna kitu ya kufanya. You no longer look at people the way you used to look at them before because umekuwa sasa umepanda cheo or something like that. And I think those are the things we know that kinda exhibit the mental health of where we are at, but we always give them a name.
True.
Yeah, so You have maze.
Yeah,
All
but,
right.
but I mean, pia watu wasifikiri tinakaanga tu kwa nyumba doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just disclaimer.
wasema lakini sasa pia wewe.
Sitafuteka kitu angalau.
Unaamka saa 6
Si ati uende mjengo.
It's because siwezi mjengo hata siwadanganya. Hizi mikono zangu ni soft. Nikiinua mawe leo
Inararuka.
Inaweza niangukia hapa tuanze mchango ya orthopedic surgery. No, but it's just that whenever you have as in where you can help out, and especially at home, you do. You know,
yeah.
I'm not a useless person. At least I do what I can. Yeah, I mean, unajua kuosha vyombo ni kazi.
Ni kazi.
Kupika pia ni kazi.
Ni kazi pia.
Hivi sasa tunaambia madhe, mbocha haja kuja kutufulia nguo leo. No. Kama unaweza fua nguo. But the other part that, you know, you also do as a member of the family is make yourself useful, even just outside
the home.
You know, and also try as much as possible to just bring in something. It might not be much. People sometimes think that kama we let anything like kama si 10k unaleta kwa nyumba, then you're not contributing. No, tafuta taka ni 2,000 hiyo siku ambia wase leo tunakula kuku. Unajua, so you know, I try my best to do where I can, but I can tell you our industry as creatives, it's a hard one. Me, I have a degree in biotechnology. Na kwamba nimetafuta kazi za biotech. I think ni last month nilikuwa naangalia kazi za biotech nikapata the only available job ni a lecturer, na wanataka ukuwe na masters ya biotechnology
na experience ya how many years?
Ya miaka 7. Unachokanga hizo vitu naangalia unasema hata nishasahau glycolysis anyway. Glycolysis is the process of breaking sugar.
Yeah.
But you're like hata nishasahau hiyo process ya glycolysis, why even struggle? Yeah. And sometimes you even talk to, like, do you know how many politician friends I have on my phone?
They must
guys
be
who
many.
used to call me wanting an interview on TV and
radio.
Nakwambia the first few months I called those guys. The moment you tell them, unajua nilitoka TV, they're like, oh yeah, let me call you back.
In a short while.
Na hivyo ndivyo hiyo simu yako inablokiwa.
And celebrities as well. I mean, because the first thing you want to do when you release a song is go to radio.
Yes. Let me tell you
or
something.
TV.
Let me tell you something, Lydia, and I'm saying this because I've also said it on my YouTube channel. Me, I do not consider my celebrity friends as friends anymore. I do not, and if they're listening, I want them to understand. If you're a celebrity friend of mine, you're not a friend. You're not my friend. Because those guys literally abandon you the moment you become useless. The moment you cannot host them on TV, the moment you cannot host them on radio, you're nothing to them.
Yeah.
And me, that's one of the things that I came to terms with. Mimi saizi hakuna celeb ninaweza pigia simu ashike because I tried it and they didn't
It's
answer.
tried and tested.
They didn't answer and I said it's okay. Yes.
Let's talk about social media because hapo ndio kila kitu ina happeningi, you know, that's where the gleam, glam and glitz happen. And of course you're showing off what has actually happened. And it's now apparent that you cannot fake that life anymore. So talk about the social media pressure as a media personality and how that affects your career, how that affects your mental space, and now that things are different.
Thank God I never faked anything. Me, I have never faked where I live. I have never faked the car I drive. Mimi sijaidanganya watu niendesha, you know, ati Prado ama sijui Mercedes Benz. No, me I drive a Toyota Porte. And I'm very comfortable.
And you're comfortable with that
very
for the longest time, right?
Yes, for the longest. I've had that car since 2016. And I'm very comfortable with that car.
Ile ligonga ngombe?
Ile ligonga ngombe, insurance walinilipa.
Okay.
But bado ilikuanga Toyota Porte. Yes. They introduced to the same amount of money, so I bought the same car. I wish ningeza kununua Mercedes na hiyo pesa, but yeah. So, I have never had to fake my lifestyle. I have never, and even my girlfriend knows. Me, sitaienda kwa club ninunue pombe expensive. Sitaienda kwa restaurant nikule chakula expensive ati because ninaogopa watu wataanza kushanga. Ule movie wa TV tunaona madondo. Mimi nikijisikia na madondo, by the way, nitakula madondo, nitaenda kwa kibanda. And even today where I live with my folks, me I walk to wasewa kibanda and I eat my mutura that I want and I don't feel anything. I will eat my smoky pasua, and people to date, they will still ask for selfies and they will still want to shake my hand, and I'm very okay with it. I do not want, I have never faked my life and I will never fake my life. And I know one day when God blesses me with like $1 billion, I will still be Paul Mung'ala Mbuvi.
Yeah.
Nikipata pesa kununua Range Rover, nitanunua Range Rover. But I will not pretend to drive a Range Rover when I don't. Because a lot of celebs out here, they are struggling to maintain a lifestyle that doesn't exist. Me, I have been to events with guys. Ninajuanga huyu mtu ana gari, lakini kwa hii event amekuja na Prado. Na ninajua hii ni gari ya kahaya. Why are you unaenda kwa event na hiyo Prado kuipark? Si ati utapanda nayo stage ama utaingia nayo pale kwa crowd. Kaa parking. Ni venye unataka saa zile mnatoka mkienda ufanye chwe. Watu wane Range Rover.
Hey, that's a Range Rover.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Me, I go with my Toyota Pote. Saa zingine I will even take a cab, go to where I need to go, do my thing, get back home, and life continues. Yes.
Silently.
Nitakuwa nimeweka gari yangu mafuta ya kama ni 1,000 ikanifikisha mahali ninaenda.
Na inarudi.
Nikafanya shughuli yangu, nikakunywa ka drink kangu ka pesa kidogo, ile ninaweza afford, na sijakopa mtu hiyo pesa, na sijaibia mtu hiyo pesa. And I'm very comfortable.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Your story is quite a story, man. And even as we wind up, maybe you could talk to someone and just tell them, because there are a lot of people who are dealing with stuff, and we never want to make anyone feel like their issue is small. Yeah, you've gone through it, and you've gone through it. So maybe just in a few, just tell us what your words would be to someone who's struggling as a creative, or even not a creative, just someone who's struggling, and what would your final words be? And then maybe in the same breath, you can also tell us where to find you on your socials, on YouTube, and all that.
So, I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to tell you because they will listen to me as I tell you. What I would tell someone is we live in a very busy world right now, and we live in a very expensive world, and we live in a very unforgiving world. And every day people are being insulted, sometimes rightfully so, sometimes they're just misunderstood. Be as real as you can. And then learn how to tune off the noise. The way you can switch to a radio station. If you don't like station A, enda B. Na kama B pia kubambi, enda C. Na kama A, B, C, D, E, F azikubambi, enda G. Siku hizi vitu ni mingi. You can watch YouTube. You can listen to radio. You can watch TV. It's you to choose the kind of noise you want to listen to. Yeah, and I would prefer you listen to the constructive one. Me, when I'm in the house chilling, I only listen to things and watch things that will uplift me and the ones that will add value to my life. I will not listen to anyone who is trying to corrupt my understanding of the world and how it's supposed to be. So that's how I deal with issues. And number two, people who even try and get to me, whether it's through poking me, insulting me, judging me, what I usually do is forgive them in advance. Yes. Mimi hakuna siku utaini pull down. Kuniambia kitu kwa mtandao ama kunipigia simu na kuniambia vitu, been there, I've done that.
And that
I have grown such a thick skin that doesn't bother me. Actually, my parents are usually shocked at how I am just like I just glide through life. They don't understand how I do that, but it's because life has taught me so much that I know it's not all important. So I choose to tune to what is important, and I believe that's what everyone should do. Kitu kikustress, imagine just cut it off. It's never that serious. Whether it's someone or something, cut them off. Even if it's a relative, you don't need toxicity in your life.
So where can we find you?
Find me at Mung'ala Mbuvi across all find me at Mung'ala Mbuvi across all social media. That is on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Juzi nimefungua TikTok. Baby girl alinisumbua kanambia so nimefungua TikTok. I am at Mung'ala Mbuvi on that one as well. YouTube, nimefungua channel. So if you just search at Mung'ala Mbuvi, that is where you will find me. Na mfuate pia demu yangu anaitwa Bridget Matei.
Come on now.
Lazima mfuate. Tunajaribu kukua YouTubers, and we want to take it very seriously because we've decided that might be our career.
Our next
now.
course of action.
Because hakuna makazi, and I'll be lying to people telling them that the last application I did, I think, was in August. Nimeacha. Mkitaka kunipatia kazi mnipatie, but I'm not applying for a job. I've decided to become self-employed, and since I'm a creative, I just want to do it on the creative space.
Come on now, Paul. Thank you. Thank you. I was waiting for the host to become the hostee and vice versa.
No, I'll
we tried.
Host you on my channel.
Please do.
Uko ready kukuja Mlolongo?
Tutakuja.
Sawa.
Tutakuja Mlolongo hivi tukiwa wengi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nakuja na rende. Na kwetu amtapata ati sijui biscuits.
No.
Na sijui ngwashe, sijui
No.
ndoma.
Tutapata?
Kwetu mtahave kudili na kile mtapata.
Okay. We shall be ready.
Kwetu ni kuku kwenda juu.
Let me tell you, we are coming when? Okay, so yeah.
Your time ikifika ndakushow.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
Really, really grateful. Thank you for telling us your story.
I hope I've helped people.
Oh
as well.
yeah,
I
if
hope,
first of all for me, there's a lot that I have learned. Yeah, so thank you for sharing your story and for not hiding it from us. And that's what the 145 booth is about, being honest, having honest conversations, and just one time or another we are able to help someone out there and understand that this is a safe space for you. Thank you for joining us for the 145 booth. This has been your guest, Paul Mung'ala Mbuvi. Thank you so much again. And if you haven't followed us yet, we are on the socials at the 145 booth. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at the 145 booth as well. Let us have conversations. Let us talk. Share with us your stories. Comment. Tell us what you're going through. And yeah, we'll be able to create a community for you and a safe space for you as well.